Okay, I shared with you last week that I wasn't going to make my luxury home sales goal, but I was staying with my premise that the future of real estate and the direction it will go is driven by the baby boomers. And the baby boomers are retiring and they're looking for different kinds of homes. So I decided I wanted to become a developer. Now, once I dug into it, I realized I didn't want raw land. I wanted to find lots that are for sale, but the seller, the owner, the investors in many cases, are having difficulty selling them. I want to use my strength. My strengths are marketing, video, things of that nature. So I've changed direction. And I'm doing a series of videos. Number one was last week. This is number two. And I'm going to take you out to the property today and show you what its layout is and how we're going to, or how I'm going to market it to baby boomers. The next place I'm going to take you today is to City Hall. You've got to have these people on your team, and because they can make it very difficult if you do something wrong. So I want to avoid doing something wrong. So I'm going to City Hall. I'll take you with me there. So let's learn how to develop lots that aren't selling and put houses on them that appeal to the baby boomers. Okay, my first stop today was at the Irondale City Hall. I met with the city inspector. The purpose of my meeting was, first of all, just to acquaint myself with their situation and how they can help me and how they can kind of push this along without running into any problems. I was basically informed they've been disappointed in the progress over the last 10 years, but are encouraged by the fact that we're selling some lots and that we're building some houses. I've also learned not to expect any financial assistance in putting in the roads into phase two or building out the water and the utility system. That's all on the investors, so that'll be a hurdle I'll face in the future. I've got right now 14 lots that I can sell, and let's now go over and take a look at that and get you acquainted with the property, so that what I'm trying to do is basically document my step-by-step, so that if you are lucky enough to get into something like this, maybe you can figure out what you need to do as I'm figuring it out for myself. This is Hampton Gates. It was actually developed back in something like '08. I know, probably '06, and the streets were put in and everything was set up. But we got two houses built in '16, and we got one under construction now, and that's kind of where I took it over. And I want to kind of explain what's happening and how I'm approaching it, and maybe it can be something you can work out. What you're looking here is Janet Lane. Janet Lane is the phase one of Hampton Gates. On the right hand side we have the high property, goes up and comes down to the road, and as we move further down the road, the higher it gets. Over on the opposite side we have the low property. This property runs down to a creek bed. Say the creek bed, it's right down there below. And as you can see, there's kind of a natural shelf here that we'll be able to build some houses on, probably with crawl spaces and maybe a half basement, and then create a slab. I think it'll be quite, as we get some of these pines and some of the scrub trees out of here, it'll be a very attractive place. And it'll almost be like living in the woods. Okay, this is the house that's under construction that we're building right now, and as you see, the flooring people are here. We're probably about 60 days away from completing this, and this has been a real asset to selling additional lots. So we sold, or I sold, these two lots over here. That would be number 1 and 2. Again, there is some rise there. As we move down Janet Lane, the rise gets higher and higher. What I have found is once I put in the MLS listings as proposed construction, my phone started to ring. What I learned was if I put a picture in the MLS listings of this lot and other lots and say, okay, there's going to be a house built there, people don't have the vision. But if I can, first of all, show them a video that shows a lot or house going up on one of the lots, they have then the ability to possibly see that I can see how a house might end up on this lot here, on lot 4. If I then also list that lot as proposed construction and show a rendering of a house that might be there and a floor plan, my phone starts to ring. And it's ringing now at the rate of about 1 call every other day. And people wanting to come out and see how, in fact, they might find a home. And we're in the price range of $325 to $425. Now, as I said, there were several homes built in 16. This is one of them. And that kind of gives the flavor of what we're looking to put into the property. Brick homes, kind of a conventional look, and something that will appeal to both millennials and Generation Xers. But I think our real market is going to be the baby boomers. And what they're looking for is houses that they can have one level living. That is to say, like the house we built over here, you have 2 bedrooms downstairs, plus the master, and you have an open floor plan and kitchen, so it's one level living. You don't have steps that you have to maneuver. You have a large shower, so you can walk into the shower, and the bathtub almost becomes a secondary function. In fact, in many of the homes, I'm going to propose that we do not put bathrooms or tubs at all because seniors don't use them. And I think we're going to be selling probably 75% of the homes out here are going to be sold to baby boomers who are looking to downsize, want a neighborhood where there are trees. They don't like the neighborhoods that are going up in fields that have 0 lot lines and no place to park and trucks and whatever all over the property. So we're getting a lot of activity. And again, it plays to what I've talked about numerous times, and that is follow the demographic. And the demographic right now is the retirement of the baby boomers and them wanting to downsize. And the necessity, truly the necessity, to get to one level living where you can pull in the garage, carry your groceries into the kitchen, and then even if you get in a position where you're in a wheelchair or something of that nature, you live on one level. And that's what we're building for them. So I'm excited about it. And in the comments, I'd ask you if you have any questions, suggestions, any past experience. I think this is just a wonderful opportunity, and I want to share it with you. Okay, this is down at the end of the cul-de-sac, and this is an area where I have shown a lot here about 3 times, and I'm quite confident we'll be building it in the very near future. It's lot 10 right there behind me. Lot 10 has a gentle or a natural incline there, and I envision us putting about a $400,000 home up there. I'm even toying with the idea of creating a mutual driveway between lot 10, which has a more gradual slope, and lot 9, which has the highest of slopes there. So my vision is right there where you see about the lot 10 sign is that a driveway go up there, straight up, or maybe a traverse up, and then have a branch go to lot 9 and have then that ledge just stay unobstructed, removing all the small pines that are there. but have one driveway then that branches to the right and to the left and servicing both houses up there. So that's kind of the way we're going, and I think it would really accent this home quite nicely as well. Okay, so that's my visit to Hampton Gates and my visit to the Irondale city. And I think the thing I really want to impress upon you, as you if you choose to go the route I'm going, um, it's best if you can find where the development is already underway. That is, the streets and utilities are in. It's not too hard to find these things. Go to Zillow and enter a zip code, and then look for lots. And where you see a cluster of them, then go back to your MLS and see if you have a common ownership. I was able to go again to 35210, which is Irondale, and I found another 7 lots that are in something of a development that didn't get sold, and they're currently owned by a elderly lady who happened to die last year. So if I were going after those, what I would do would be, as I did, I went and read her obituary. I found out who her children were. I did a Fast People search, and I found what appears to be phone numbers and email addresses. Now, they're already listed with another agent, so I really can't go after them, but I certainly could start emailing them information of a non-listing nature, but just an informative nature of what I'm doing in Hampton Gates. And who knows? The other agents had them since November and hasn't sold any of them. So somebody else is going to get those listings. And again, I may not be in the market for them because I've got a pretty big undertaking at Hampton Gates, but that's how I would go about it. And I would just make an effort to find out who is going to make the decision on those 7 lots, and make them aware of me. Again, it all goes back to my theory of you choose who you want to do business with and what kind of business you want to do, and then find the people who are instrumental in making that happen for you and then making them aware of you. Any other way of marketing, just to my way of thinking, doesn't work. We've got a real opportunity here. I'm pretty high on what I'm getting involved in. It disappoints me that I haven't been able to sell the luxury homes, but that's really the definition of an entrepreneur is you try something. If it doesn't work, you maybe adjust it a little, and if it still doesn't work, reevaluate what you're doing and change. And don't be so vain that you can't say, I failed at that. It didn't happen the way I thought it could happen. I do think it will happen, and I'll keep my finger in that luxury home market. But here in Birmingham, it's not going to happen in the next 6 months, in the next year. And I'm building my business plan to succeed for 2020. So stay with me. Give me your comments. Plus, yes, no. What do you think? I value your opinion. I'm making a strategic change in my business, and I'd be interested in your opinion. Thanks.